Hello, welcome to this lesson, the loan management system. I trust I've been having a nice experience altogether in this application class and by extension the entire training. So in this lesson, once again, we'll be having amazing time together, and it is the loan management system. And interestingly, this happens to be the last lesson for this training. Now let's see how it works. The loan management system built based on our requirements. Now here is it. We'll have the basic details that we need, but let me explain how it works for us. Now for the purpose of this lesson, the data validation I'm using is not a searchable one because I don't want to actually build this online. You know, I taught us the drop down list part 3 part of it, where you have to actually search for customers automatically without actually using the drop down arrows. So but for this lesson, I'm not going to be doing that because I don't want to build this on the online Excel. I just want to do it on the locally, or that is the desktop version of the Excel. Now when you have your own version 2021, like I said, you can build the searchable data validation using the 2022 version, the 2021 version. So basically, let's see how it works. I want to see the details of a particular customer that happens to take loan from this company. So if I click on this, like for this one now, Onaladapo Abigail, these are the details. Now you see the date of birth, you see the gender, you see the BVN. Now these are the details we choose to collect from the people. The BVN, for instance, I use this BVN because it's related to Nigeria, where we have the BVN to stand for the bank verification number. You see basic details we need. Then the account number of the customer. This is the account number. These are just dummy figures anyway. The bank name, because when the customer processes the loan, where we actually have to send the money to, this is the bank account number, this is the bank name. The loan the customer is coming to get, which is this is the amount. Now the rate we are giving this customer, the loan duration is taking it for 3 years, the number of payments. Now the monthly payment the customer will making, the total payment at the end of the day. Now for this customer, the customer has not paid anything from the loan, so the total amount left is still this amount. Now loan date, when the loan was actually collected, the due date when the loan will be due to be paid, and the current date. This current date is to help me check if this date have been exceeded. So let's check another customer again. Let's actually, supposing we scroll up, like I said, I'm not going to be using the searchable part. If I click on this first customer, for instance, and you see the details actually comes up again. Now this is the loan the customer collected. This is the total amount of the loan we're going to be getting later at the end of the day. The customer collected this loan for 1 year and is going to be paying for 12 months. Now this is the amount the customer has paid so far, 16,000, and this is the amount left. This is the date the loan was collected, and this is the date the loan will be expiring. Now this is how the front page looks like, where majorly where we need to maybe want to show people, but the magic or the back end configuration actually lies in this database and in this payment. So I'm going to take it one by one. Now check this particular place. There is no, I want to add a particular name. Now in this particular place, now there is no customer name bearing Awesome. Take note, no customer name bearing Awesome. So supposing a new customer comes in, I'll input the details into the database. So I'll come to the database. This is where the database is. I'll put a new customer name. For instance, I'm a new customer coming to get a loan. I'll put my name Awesome Emmanuel. Now the date I want, okay, my date of birth, DOB, my date of birth, let's put my date of birth is actually 20 February, that is 2, then 24th of February, so many years ago. So let me just put this is the date of birth. Then the gender, this is the details we actually choose to get from the company as what we need from our customers. The gender is male. My BVN 23, let me just type something, just some dummy values. This is the BVN. Now the bank number, that is the bank account number I'm using. The bank account number, this BVN, I think it should be, it's too much. but you can also build yours to your requirement. The bank account number I'm using, let me just type some dummy numbers. Then the next one is, what is the bank names? Let me reduce one, think it's too much. The bank name, let's say I actually use First Bank, that is the bank name. How much am I collecting? Let's say I'm collecting let's say 55. Okay, 55,000. I'm collecting 55,000. What is the interest rate the bank is giving me? Let's say the bank is giving me an interest rate of 2.5%. Now, how many years do I want to get this loan? Let's say 2 years. As soon as I press 2 years, the number of payments will automatically come, which is 24 payments. What it means, I'll be paying it every month for that 2 years. A year is 12 months, so for the 2 years, that is how I got this 24. Then what it means now is that my monthly payment will be this particular amount, and my total amount I will pay at the end of the 2 years is this. Now just ignore these two columns. Then the date I'm collecting the loan, let's say I collect the loan on the, let's say on the 1st of January, let's say 2022, then the due date immediately will come up. It has actually been programmed. This is the due date, when the loan will be expiring. So this is what we have entered in the database. Now let's actually come to the home page to see if we have it captured already. So we'll scroll down. Take note, before we didn't have Awesome Emmanuel. When we scroll down, Awesome Emmanuel is here now. Then we'll hit on Awesome Emmanuel. You see the details of Awesome Emmanuel is here. The date of birth, the mail, the BVN. Like I said, these are the basic details you want to get. The account number, the bank date, the loan I collected. This is the rate given to me from the bank. Loan date, loan duration. This, I've not paid anything so far. That's why it's showing all 0, and amount left is 3 days. Loan date, due date, and the today's date. Today's date is to compare if I've exceeded. Now that is that. Now let's actually take it back, because I want to show you something. Let's click another customer. Take note, I've not paid anything. That is Awesome Emmanuel. Now supposing at one particular day I came to the company. This is the payment portion. Now I came to the company, I said I want to pay. Now because I've actually registered into this database, when I click this drop down arrow and you scroll, you will see my name there, Awesome Emmanuel. I'll pick it up. Now if I pick it up, the date I'm actually paying, let me just say I'm paying this particular date. Let me just drag this date down. I'm paying on this particular date. Then, and how much am I paying? Let's say out of the money I collected, I want to pay $20,000. You can actually be in Naira. 20,000. I'm paying 20,000. Immediately I put this 20,000 here. What happens at this particular portion where I have the total amount paid? Let's scroll down, because even my name has been captured here automatically. My name is here, Awesome Emmanuel. 20,000 is here. So if I come to the home page now and scroll back to Awesome Emmanuel, you will observe 20,000 has been paid, and this is the amount left. Supposing the next day again, also the same person, the same customer, sorry, let's cancel this, just ignore that. The same customer, the same Awesome Emmanuel came again to make some payments, and this is the date. Which date? You can just put any date of your choice. 2022 for instance. As soon as you type the date format will come up. Then I'm paying, let's say I'm paying 5,000. The same customer. Now 20 plus 5, that is 25,000. If I come to this portion where it's actually keeping the record of everything, you see my 25,000. Come to my home page now, you see it's already updated 25,000. That is how flexible and how robust this system is. Now without much further talk, you understand how the system works. Now how do we build this system from the scratch? Let me just save this, then I'll cancel this page, then we'll go to a new window. Okay, here is it. I have it from the scratch. Now I kept this portion for us so that you can actually practice with it. Now the reason is because when you practice, you actually gain mastery then before you want to design for yourself. This particular piece, I call it database sample. That is the same thing I've done just for you to continue from where I've stopped. I call it database sample. Now this is the home page sample, the format. I trust you understand how I was able to build this format. It's very simple. I color the entire background. I click on this portion, color the entire background blue, come to home, color the entire background blue. How I was able to get this, it was a shape I use, a rectangular shape. I think I've treated some of this topic in some of the lessons previously. That's how I was able to get this, and I put the name of what I want here. Then this, I just color this background white, the text black. Here I color the background black, the text that will come in here is white, and everything is the same format. Now this is the date. The formula we use for date here is just put today, because today's date. Now when you shortcut the system and on it subsequently, it picks the current date you are actually working on. So this is just for the sample for us to practice. Now let's come to the scratch for us to see how it works. Now like I said, you can build your own to suit your requirement, what you want to get from the people. So in this case, this is just a serial number. Now this is the customer name. We need customer name, DOB, we need the date of birth, we need the gender, we need the BVN, we need the account name, we need the bank name, we need the loan. Now depending on what you want, whatever you want, you can just bring them here. Then whatever you bring here, that is what also comes to your home page. You just draft something of this format and drop it on your home page. So that is actually very important. Number of payments and all that and all that and all that. So let's see how to actually fill this particular portion. So for the serial number, we can leave the format this way. That is what I mean format, that is the general format, or we can put it on number format. There's nothing much to be done there. The name, now the name of the customer, let's actually make it a bit wide. Date of birth, now the date of birth is a date function. So what I will do is I will shift control arrow down, then I'll come to home and I'll keep this portion, this format, I'll keep it short date, because it's date that will be coming to this portion. Now here the gender is male and female. You can use data validation here to bring your male and female depending on what you want, or if you want them to actually type it, no problem. In what I designed was for them to type, or for us to type, but if you want to actually bring data validation, you can do that. Now the BVN is a number format too, so because they'll be typing a number kind of format, so I can leave it in general, or I can just keep it on number, no problem. The account number too, the account number and the account name, these are all number format. So I just highlight them, shift control arrow down, just to keep them in number format. Now the loan amount is a currency format, so I'll just highlight it, I'll put it in currency. I can just click on this portion, it takes down to accounting or currency, or come here and click on currency. It's actually the same thing. Now when you work with this, it keeps your value in dollars, but you can change these dollars to your local currency. By local I mean your country currency, either naira or cedis, as the case may be. Here the rate is a percentage format, so I'll shift control arrow down. Whatever I type here, take it as a percentage format, percentage. Then loan duration is a date format, it's a number format. Number of payments too is a number format. So at this point, these two guys, I'll highlight, control shift arrow down. That is what I'm doing here, is anything I type here, let it be in this format, and in this case the number format. Now monthly payment is a currency format, because money will be coming there. So what I will do, change the format to currency. Then the total amount I have here, total amount, then total amount paid, total amount left. These are all currency formats. Now I can choose to ignore this, because I won't be typing it here. Total amount paid, total amount left, I won't be typing it here. It will be on the payment page, so I can just choose to leave this. Then the next one is the loan date and the due date. These are date format. I'll highlight the both of them, come to home and make them short date. Just make them short date. So I've worked on the format. So now let's actually see how we enter. So let's say the first one we enter, serial number 1, then the customer name, let's say we type a customer name of Awesome Emmanuel. Then the date of birth, now the date of birth is February 24, let me use 1994 date of birth. Now as soon as I do that, it gives, take note, this is a date kind of format. Now I forgot to do something. This is the database anyway. We can actually centralize it to be in the middle, but no problem. The gender, since I'm typing make it male, you can put data validation. For the BVN is a banking verification number. I trust something of this should be also be available in other countries just to verify. So the BVN thing is about 11 digit or 10, so let me just assume it's 10 digit. So this is the BVN. My account number now, at this point you see it's giving me in decimal. I don't want it to be in decimal, 2 decimal. So what I will do is I will highlight. I trust these other guys too will also be in decimal, so I can highlight all those guys and reduce the decimals to make them in whole numbers. So that's what I've done, because everything there will have to be in whole numbers. Now the account name, now let me also do something again. Let me highlight all this. The reason of doing this is to make sure, just to beautify our work. I just highlighted, Control Shift down, then I'll centralize. The purpose is just to beautify the work, nothing more. So now the account number, let me type the account number of my choice. So assuming this is my account number. Okay, and then the bank name, because whenever the customer fill their form, they put a bank where we actually have to send the money to them. So let's assume this customer is using First Bank. So now the loan I'm actually collecting, I want to collect 50,000. Now as soon as I leave there, because okay, this loan amount is a currency format, I can change it to currency format. Okay, I think it's also there. Let me just put the dollar sign. So now the rate I'm paying, let's say the company is giving me this loan at the rate of 1.5%. As soon as I type 1.5, the percentage is there because we have kept it in percentage format. Now the loan duration, how many years do I want to actually pick this loan? Let me pay this loan back. Let's say I want to pay it in 2 years time. Then the number of, okay, for this loan duration, I don't want it to be in decimals too, I want it to be whole. I'll highlight everything, I'll just decrease, so I just, because years will be in whole number. So number of payments, now it's expected I pay monthly, so for the 2 years it will be whatever I have here times 12. Then I'll hit on enter. Now we've started entering our formulas, so this place too, let's make it kind of whole numbers. We don't want that 00 that is there, we'll just decrease the decimal. Now assuming I'm building this template for, let's say, like 1,000 customers, so what I will do, I've started entering formulas now. So what I will do is this, I will drag this formula down. Now when I'm dragging this formula down, what it means is this, I want to drag down, but take note, as I'm dragging down, but because there is no values here, it's showing me 0. I don't want my template to look this format. So what I will do is this, let's delete everything. You know how it works now, but I want here to be empty when here is not actually typed. So okay, let me not delete, let me Control Z, let me delete this. Now I want these guys to be empty if nothing is here. So in the formula I'll just add something else. And what will I add? I've taught us before. I'll just say if this cell, if it is empty, then leave this particular place I'm typing empty, else then type this formula, as simple as that. So then I'll just close this. What this particular statement means is, if J2 is empty, then leave this K empty. But if J2 is not empty, that is if the J's are not empty, then execute this condition, whatever you have in J2 multiply by 12. So that is what it means. Then when I hit on enter, then I can drag this down. Take note, as I'm dragging down now, I drag down, the formula is here at this point, but because nothing is here, this place is empty. But supposing I put, let's say, like 3 years here, immediately I put 3 years here, here becomes 36. So I trust you understand. Now supposing I'm building this template for like 1,000 customers, what I will do is I'm envisaging I'll be using this template for like 1,000 people, so, or let's say 50 people for the case, just to shorten the time. In the template I built, the example, it was for 1,000, but let me just do, if we're envisaging for 50 or 100, when you have done your formula, you drag it down, drag your formula to 100. Okay, let's think dragging is not that difficult. Let's just take it to 500. So take note, 500. Look to my left, to the left, you see, okay, that is 541. Take it up, this is actually 500. Yeah, that is 500. So what it means is this formula works up to line 500 if I'm building for 500 people. Take note, if you want to build for 1,000, 2,000, it's kind of long enough to build. That is, this formula works up to this point. So let's go back to where we came from. Okay, that is the number of payments. Now the monthly payments. Take note, we discussed a lesson in one of the previous classes where we discussed monthly payments whenever you pick a loan. So we're doing the same thing here. So the monthly payment is this. We'll put the formula, and the formula is PMT. Open our bracket. The rate of this is this is the rate. So we'll come to rate, this particular one, but divided by 12, because we're paying it every month, we're paying the loan every month, comma, that is the rate. Then for the number of payments, the number of payments is this MPE, mean number of payments, which is this. Then we'll put a comma. Then the present value means the loan we are actually collecting, and the loan we're collecting is this one. So we'll put this. Now take note, it will give us a negative value because the money is like, that is what Excel says, it's leaving your account as you that is disbursing the money. So if we don't want to, sorry, not negative, a red value. Like, let me refresh our memory. When I say red value, if I close the bracket and I hit on enter, it's giving me, okay, it's giving me something like this, either negative or right. Take note, what it just means is this money is leaving your account. So to ignore that, what you do, you just come to this place and make the present value negative, then hit on enter. So we have this. So now, but the same thing, if I drag this formula down, it will give me no value here because nothing is on this portion. So to avoid that error, we'll adjust this Control Z, we'll adjust our formula. And how do I adjust it? We'll put the same if function. We'll say if, we'll open our bracket. Now in this case, if the number of payments, if this number of payments is empty, leave it empty, else perform these operations. Very simple. Then we'll hit on enter. Okay, sorry, let's see where the error is coming. Okay, yes, where the error came from is this. I open two brackets, 1 2, I only close it with 1. That's where the error came from. So I'll correct. I know what is missing. I'll just close the brackets, make it 2 brackets opening, 2 brackets closing, then I'll hit on enter. So at this point now I can drag this formula down. Take note, we're building for 500, we're envisaging for 500, so we'll just drag the formula down till 500. I'll advise you make everything uniform down to 500. This is 500. So the formula, if you see here, the formula is up to this point 500, but if you go down 501, it's no longer there because we're actually building for 500. No problem, let's continue. So now for the total payments, I'll put the same thing. I'll say total payment is this particular guy, which is the monthly payment, multiplied it by the number of payments, this is the total payment. But just to save time, okay, let me hit on enter. This gives us this, but because we don't want, since we are dragging down, we'll just repeat the same thing. We'll say open our bracket and close. We'll say if the same number of payments, if it is empty, I trust you understand why we're doing this. If it is empty, make it empty, else do this. So then we will hit on enter. We'll have this. We'll drag the formula down again to 500. we'll drag the formula down to 500, because we're actually building for 500 people. So, okay, 500, here I am. Okay, 500. Then I go up. I can be saving my work actually. Then the last one, total amount paid, just leave that. The total amount left, leave it. Then the loan date. Now the loan date is a date kind of format. So what I will do is this: I'll come to the due date first. Now the due date, the due, a year basically is 365 days, except for leap years. There are 366. Leap years are the years that are actually divisible by 4. Years like 2020, 2024, 2028, 2032, and stuffs like that. When they are divisible by 4, they are leap year. Those years they have 366 days. But let us go conventionally with 365 days. So how do we get our loan duration? I mean the due date. So to get the due date, we will say, we'll put this formula like this. We'll say this P1, this particular loan date, that is the particular date the customer is taking the loan, plus if the customer takes the loan today, and if I add 365 days to today, it will give me exactly 1 year to the next year. So what I will do is this: I will just say 365 times the number of years the customer is actually taking the money, which is this one. Then I'll hit on enter. This is the formula. Now it's giving us this because nothing is actually here. It's like nonsense, but no problem. We'll build our work. Now what it means, let's check if this is working. Now if we come to this place, let's say I'm taking the loan today. Let's say if I put, to make it easier for us to understand, 1st of January 2022. Now if I'm taking the loan for 2 years, it should be 2024, and I hit on enter. Now it's showing us 2024. It means the formula is working. Now but something else we need to do is, because we'll be dragging this date down such that as soon as I type the loan date, the due date will also come up. So for this date, I'll come to this portion. What I will do, I'll do the same thing. I'll say if, open bracket, I'll say if the loan date, which is actually this particular one, if this loan date is empty, now comma, leave it empty, else perform these operations. Now since I'm adding this, now I'll put these guys in bracket. So I'll open this bracket. I open is to put these guys in bracket. Now I open a bracket to start this if operation. I'll close it down that bracket. As simple as that. Then I'll hit on enter. When I hit on enter, I have this. Now I will drag it down again to, let's say, 500 people, where we are building the template for 500. Now take note, if you are building for more than 500, you will take it down. Okay, that is done. Let's go up. Our work is making progress. So let's actually fill in another customer name again. Let's say number 2. And this customer we're filling, let's say the customer name is let's say Mercy, let's say Mercy Johnson. Then the date of birth. Now take note, as I scroll down, I wasn't seeing what was in the up portion. What I mean is, when I scroll down like this, so you can see what I'm saying, the first row I'm not seeing it. I think I mentioned in one of the lessons, because how to actually resolve that is to use what we call the free spin. I want to also see not only the I want to see the first row, and also to be seeing the name. So what I will do is, I think I've explained free spin in one of the lesson. I'll come to home. I want this roll up and the ones to my left to show. The one up, the ones to my left to show. So I'll come to this particular portion. If I want the date of birth to show, the one up and the ones to my left to show, I'll come to this place. But I want the ones up, that is the first row, and the ones to my left to show. I'll come here. I'll come to home. Under home, view, under view, free spin, click on it, free spin. So what it means is, up and left will remain fixed even when you are scrolling down or right, as the case may be. So for the next person, let's say Mercy Johnson. Mercy Johnson is this. Then I'm feeling this is a female. I think in your own you can make this a data validation where you can just pick it up immediately. The BVN that is her BVN, then her account number. Let's just fill that is the account number. The bank she's using, maybe she's using a bank called UBA in Nigeria. How much is she collecting? She want to collect $30,000 or naira. Now what is the interest rates we're giving her? For instance, let's say we're giving her let's say 2%. Then for how long is she taking this loan? Maybe 5 years. As soon as we type the 5 years, you see something, the number of payments comes up, the monthly payment is there, the total amount is there. Then let's fill the due date. Let's fill the date. For the date now, we can she's collecting it on this particular day, so the due date automatically will come up, so it's actually working. So our template, that is the database, is fixed. Now you can choose, when you're building your own, you can remove this particular portion. I thought of removing it when I was actually before I started, but I never knew I needed to remove it because we can do without it. We'll be using that formula later on to do that, so you can remove this portion. But let's just continue. Now we have done the database. Then now let's actually come to the payment option. Now